The Foundation army safely arrive outside the oasis, where they see nothing but desert as well. Meanwhile, Imhotep and the others go deeper into the pyramid, where they then find a seal. Then Hamunaptra then says, "This is where we must unlock it." She then says to the curator, "You will do anything you wish for me, die for me even, knowing I will be rewarded in the afterlife, yes. Put on the bracelet and put your hand in there." The curator does so, placing it on his wrist and then putting his hand into the hole, where he then unlocks a doorway. He then says, "So what, is this where we find the Scorpion King?" Then, all of a sudden, he feels something eating away at his flesh. He pulls out his hand, where it is now gone, along with the bracelet, saying to Hamunaptra, "Please, my mistress, help me." "All in good time. Come, let us go down to the tomb where the Scorpion King awaits." They then head down there. Then, all of a sudden, they walk into the room and a chain reaction happens on them. Hamunaptra tries to lift something with her mind. Also, Akiten tries to do something unnatural. Imhotep then says, "It appears that this room has disabled our powers. I think Anubis wants us to fight the Scorpion King as mere mortals." "Yes, well, we have many weapons here. I'm sure we will find our way." Then, the whole pyramid and ground begins to shake. A doorway then opens, where, lurking in the darkness, something comes. It is then revealed to be the Scorpion King himself, this time half man, half scorpion, with the torso of a man and the bottom half of a scorpion with pincers. Then Hamunaptra grabs the spear and opens it. Raoul then says, "Ah, so it is a spear." The Scorpion King then walks, going, "I have been awakened. The year of the Scorpion is here. Now I will rise the army of Anubis." Upon the surface, the Foundation army then hear some roaring. It is a small army of Anubis's troops. Then they prepare for battle, as they start shooting and firing at the army of Anubis. Then the Scorpion King looks and says, "You have the spear of Anubis. Do you plan to destroy me because I am much powerfuler than you?" "No," said Hamunaptra. "I am your slave. I merely want to destroy this weapon so that you can have control of the army forever." The Scorpion King then grabs Hamunaptra, saying, "You think I'm stupid? I know your tricks." He then throws her across the room, where she then gets up mortally wounded, but enough energy in her to throw the spear. As she throws it towards the Scorpion King, Imhotep then grabs the spear, stopping her, saying, "If you were to pierce the Scorpion King, you would have control over Imhotep's army." Imhotep's army? You mean Anubis's army? Yes. That's what he meant, saying to Raoul. They then start fighting. Then Akiten comes in saying, No, Imhotep. This bitch is mine. Akiten, since being locked away, I have time to reflect on the error of my ways. If anyone is going to get the best of you, Imhotep, it's going to be me. Now go, find the Scorpion King and stop him. The curator walks in agony as he is bleeding out. Then he sees the Scorpion King coming towards him. He then cries out for the help of Kamunatra, saying, "My lady, help me, please!" The Scorpion King then cuts him in half with his pincers, killing him. As for the followers of Kamunatra, the Scorpion King then says, "If you value your existence, you will bow to me." Imhotep then makes his way to where the Scorpion King is. Imhotep then says, "Scorpion King, I challenge you." "You challenge me? Very well. But you are merely mortal. Anubis has that good loyalty to me." They then begin to fight. Imhotep using many tactical skills that he learnt along with the Foundation. He keeps on fighting, but with him being mortal, he feels pain and wounds. Even becoming stung in the back by the Scorpion King's tail. He then keeps on fighting him. Then, upon the surface, the Foundation army take down the last soldier from Anubis' army, gaining the upper hand with their guns. They then cheer as they claim victory. But then they hear something else. A Foundation soldier looks above and says, "Oh God, help us," as a whole bigger army make their way to them. Then, as Imhotep lays wounded, the Scorpion King then says, "Now I will crush you, mortal man." Then, as he is about to finish off Imhotep, Raoul comes out saying, "Hey, wait! Stop!" "What?" "Wow, I mean, look at you. I mean, you really need all these powers to lead an army? I mean, come on. You're not what I expected at all." "I have the power of a scorpion within me. When I was mortal, I was stung. The venom I am immune to, and it gives me power. That is why I am the Scorpion King. What are you, puny little man?" "My name is Raoul Tay, and I'm just getting records on you." "Records?" "I'm distracting you, idiot." "What?" Then the spear goes straight through the Scorpion King's chest, with Imhotep sneaking up behind. He then collapses to the ground, wounded and mortal. He then says, "Return to the underworld and take your friends with you. until I see fit. The Scorpion King then starts to combust as he is defeated. As for Akiten and Hamunaptra that are fighting, Hamunaptra gets the upper hand and wounds Akiten, but then they start to feel a shaking of the ground. Then, all of a sudden, their powers return as the Scorpion King is now defeated. Imhotep then says to Raoul, "We need to get out of here now." The followers make their way out of the pyramid as they run. As for Akiten, his powers return and he makes his getaway, going, "So long, sister." As the ground begins to open up, the underworld souls start to drag Hamunaptra into the earth, saying, "Brother, help me." "Help you? You were an evil bitch. You just wanted power for yourself. I won't help you." "Fine. But one day, you will be on your knees begging for mercy, because you will have your downfall. It may not be at my hand, but it'll be at a hand of great evil." Hamunaptra then lets go as she gets dragged into the underworld and falls deep down. As for Akiten, he then finds Imhotep and Raoul as the pyramid starts to collapse around them. Imhotep then says, "We did it! Come on, Akiten." Akiten then declines, saying, "No, I don't think I'll come with you. I find the true death more better than imprisonment. You'll be sucked into the underworld." "Maybe the underworld is better," said Akiten. "Like I said, I've had time to reflect on the error of my ways. I am ready to pay for what I have done, and if I must face evil in the underworld, in the afterlife, then so be it. Now go, help this man, Raoul. I would have taught you to be a good king, you know, if I had been given that chance." "I know," said Akiten. Then Raoul and Imhotep then make their way out of the pyramid. Then, noticing the whole oasis and the jungle is getting sucked in as well, they make their way to the top of the pyramid, where Imhotep then sands himself and wraps Raoul around as he makes his way out of the oasis. Then the oasis is then sucked all the way into the earth. As for the army of Anubis, as the Foundation army are about to strike, the army of Anubis dust as it returns to the underworld, abiding by Imhotep's command. Imhotep also keeping hold of the spear, knowing that it would come in handy for him one day as well. Raoul and Imhotep land on the sand, as the Scorpion King's army is then sucked into the earth, never to be seen again. Then Raoul says, "So that's it. We defeated them. Well, now I'm in control of the Scorpion King and the army of Anubis. They could come in handy. You never know when we might need another army," said Imhotep. "And Akiten? He's where he wants to be. Come, there was no freedom for him. He knew that. I guess he preferred the true death." They then catch up with the Foundation army and then start to make their way back to London. Meanwhile, deep within the desert, under the sand, something moves. A hand raises out, and it is Akiten, who has survived Wait, I'm still here. That means Imhotep must think I'm dead, so I'm free. I'm free to be me, said Akiten, as he then makes his way walking through the desert. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Hamunaptra then finds herself in a dark place. She then wonders, where the fuck am I? You are where you are. Who said that? Anubis? No, not Anubis. You're in a place much worse than the underworld of the gods of Egypt. Who are you? Reveal yourself. Of course. Then Hamunaptra looks in terror as she sees the unknown voice. A demonic hand reaches out and grabs her shoulder, and then she is drained and absorbed by this. It reveals to be the devil as his evil goat-like eyes glow red and lets out a mighty roar, saying, soon I will rise. The negativity is strong now. Meanwhile, back at the Foundation in London, Imhotep then looks at the sunrise, standing with Raoul, saying, so what will you do now? I don't know. Probably go back to that team of mine. Miss Renfield's taking over for Agent Browning whilst he is, well, accompanying Dracula. Of course. How is he? I'm not sure, but he is awake. Anyway, you never know. The world might need the Monster Squad again. Heard there's something going on down at the Order. The Order? Yes, a rival team. I hear they've got something prisoner there, like a supernatural being, I don't know, but I think they're going to want you to take part in the operation. If I must, said Imhotep. Raoul then bids Imhotep farewell. As he does, he says, oh, and Evelyn, I believe that the team have notified her family and told her that she died in some tragic accident. I don't know, but her family will have closure on her, and she will be fine. Of course, but I'll never forget about her, said Raoul. Still, goodbye for now. Yes, of course. Imhotep then watches the sun rise over London, and then he makes his way back into the Foundation quarters, where he goes into his residence and sees a file on saving a young woman from a facility constructed by the Order. Looks like the team are getting back together. In the British Museum, in the Ancient Egypt section, people are observing the exhibits. As for Akiten, disguised as a person, looks at a tomb believed to have been his father. He then says, "I hope you sleep well, father." He then looks at another exhibit, exhibiting him, Prince Akhenaten, the uncrowned king of Egypt. He looks in fascination and goes to see it. In an expedition in China, an archaeological team make their way into a temple. Then, that's when they find a whole hidden army and also another tomb. One of the archaeologists going, "Could this be it?" "Yes, I believe that we may have found it." So he does exist, or did exist. But yes, we have found it. The tomb of the Dragon Emperor.